Morning Wake Up Home Group, just a chance to chat about all things faith-based with Strahan. Last week we were chatting about journaling and some sort of prayer practices and things like that. How's this for a letter, Strahan? We read this out on the show yesterday, actually. It's from a listener of the show. They're a mum of two in Waikato, and they went for a walk on Saturday morning up Mount Pirongia to get some good headspace going on. But she said she felt really guilty about leaving her husband at home with the kids. And then she was listening to Life FM, and Kat, who does a Saturday show, played a rerun of our interview with you, Strahan, talking about the power of silence, which she says is very rare on any given day for her. And from the discussion she heard, she realised that she was actually doing the right thing for herself, seeking some quiet time in the bush and allowing her mind to process built-up thoughts, negative feelings, ideas, etc., and bring them before God again. So she just wanted to say thanks.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we were talking about journaling last week, and we're continuing our chat about the importance of journaling. I have to say, my journaling journey started off pretty good for the first 2 days.
You're going to journal every day for a week.
I think my problem was I didn't buy a journal. I was writing it out on bits of paper, and I just was sticking them like under my bed. And then I sucked one of the bits of paper up the vacuum cleaner. And after that I kind of forgot to keep doing it. But the 2 days that I did do it, I did feel good. Started like you said. I started with, you said to do Good Morning Father. I was at nighttime, so I said Good Night Father. One thing that I found was I wrote down about how I was really looking forward to. I participated in this fishing contest on the weekend, and I wrote down how I was really looking forward to it. And often I'm guilty of getting really kind of excited and kind of almost obsessed about stuff that I'm looking forward to. So if I've got a fishing trip coming up on the Tuesday, I'm just it's all I can think about. I'm like, oh man, we're going to catch a big fish. I'm watching fishing videos on YouTube. I'm just there, and then I'll be sitting with my wife having dinner, and my mind will be on fishing, and she's like, what are you thinking about? And I'm like, nothing. But I'm actually kind of obsessing over it. But what I found when I wrote down, when I was talking to God about writing down, I was really looking forward to it. Here's what I'm looking forward to. I didn't actually think about it as much. So that was an interesting thing for me.
Cool.
That's exactly what I find when I'm writing stuff out, especially if I'm totally loaded on the inside with stuff that's bearing down on me hard out, work stuff, anxiety, family things. If I sit down and write it out, I tend to it's almost like it just evaporates. It's not like it's gone from in my life, but the resting on my brain of it, it's you've put it somewhere, it's done, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It's probably one of my favorite things about journaling, actually.
When you've got this negative thing that's weighing on you about something that's coming up that you're stressed about or worried about having to face, that can be the only thing that fills your brain, and you're not able to process anything else that you're dealing with in the meantime. And it's like that, they say if you can't sleep at night, and you've got a lot going through your mind, you're worried about the next day, just get out a pen and paper and write it all down. And often that almost helps you to download it out of your head. And then now that it's somewhere else, you can almost go to sleep.
Yeah, well, I read recently that apparently neuroscientists have discovered that the last thing you do at the end of the day, the very last thing you do, and the very first thing you do at the beginning of the day shapes more of your life, your inner world, and your mental capacity than anything else you do in your life. So in a way, doing journaling first thing or last thing is it's like an anti-social media thing, because I think most of us put our phone there, and instead of processing our own thoughts and being present, I love what you're saying about anxiety makes us non-present because of the future, also or the past, and then excitement kind of makes us non-present because of the future. But if we're actually taking that time to process our thoughts last thing and first thing, even if it's just 10 minutes of journaling or 5 minutes of journaling, it's probably going to have the most exponential difference to our prayer life, to our intimacy with God, and to our mental well-being than anything else in the world. Sometimes it is mental hell-being.
You've just coined a new phrase. Turn your mental hell-being into mental well-being.
You heard it first here by Strahan Coleman.
Okay. So good.